Hello and welcome everybody to the last series of the day, as well as the last series of the group stage overall for the Mineski Pro Gaming League season number 6, leg 6 as well. The last leg before we enter the grand finals at the end of November in the Philippines, the land finals for $20,000. But it's going to be MSI Evolution Gaming Team versus Team Malaysia, where of course Team Malaysia, they have to be the favorites coming into this, but Invasion, they gave a real run for their money in the last series. But we are here once again in the draft. I am Coucher and I am joined by Mike Lores.
And it looked like once again we're going to be seeing Team Malaysia fan out Abaddon Spirit Breaker. Man, I don't think there's any chance of seeing a Spirit Breaker, but the fact that he's banned out is just a little bit heartbreaking. Like, I kind of want to believe that Spirit Breaker will be picked up, but Malaysia just denying any sort of fun. It's really mean of them.
It definitely is. Well, I have to agree that probably Spirit Breaker wouldn't have gotten picked up, but MSI, they do get their hands onto the Death Prophet, and we saw how strong a Death Prophet can actually be in the first game of Team Malaysia versus Invasion, in the hands of Invasion that was as well. And overall, MSI Evolution Gaming Team, they're definitely no slouches. They can definitely take one, at least one, off of Team Malaysia as well, and if they're not careful. But how do they start the draft? Naga Siren was already banned, so that's not going to be an option for Team Malaysia anymore. What do they revert to now? I guess something like a Centaur is always kind of a solid pick if you want to go for that. Also Magnus, they ran it in game 1, I think it was, against Invasion. So what picks would you prefer to see here?
I think going for an opening something like Centaur Skywrath is a very solid way to go. It lets you go in any direction depending on what the enemies pick up. It gives you a lot of damage, and you can never have too much damage, so that's always nice. It will be, in the end, a Batrider first picked from Team Malaysia. This was a hero that they did not have the opportunity to pick up in either of the previous games. I don't know about the first set of the day, wasn't there for that, but Batrider is going to be picked up regardless. It is still a hero that does offer you something very unique in the lasso, and having initiation on your side is pretty useful as well. So securing that in the first pick, and then a Lich. Batrider can get behind. Lich, I'm not sure about.
Well, I do like Lich's Ice Armor against Death Prophet because Exorcism, purely physical damage, so it will help against that. Plus, of course, help keep the towers alive. But they really have to have some certain laning situation in mind, maybe aggressive tri-lane with Lich or something, because tri-lane versus tri-lane situation, the sacrifice is actually one of the sickest tools, because tri-lane, it needs so much XP as it is, so if you can deny it every second creep wave, or every creep wave almost even, it definitely can start to add up. But Lich, it really has to work out, because it's not like it's a late game support like we saw in the last game Malaysia. For example, Sand King, he can stay relevant throughout pretty much the entirety of the game with just his greatly placed epicenters. With the Lich, it's definitely not as easy because Chain Frost, it's kind of RNG based a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that Lich is a bad hero. In fact, he's one of the safest supports that you could pick up. But I just think he could be picked up rather late. Lich is usually a hero that slips through the cracks. He's always available, but just the fact that his ultimate is so reliant on RNG makes him so that he's not exactly always desirable. The Ice Armor is going to be pretty much the largest factor in the late game. Adding 9 armor with that slow is going to be pretty relevant, but MSI with Death Prophet Brewmaster aren't going to be slowed down by that too much. And now the very quick Vengeful Spirit, I guess a pseudo ban so that their Batrider has a safe lasso, but Vengeful Spirit Lich is a pretty decent roaming combination, though I don't know if it'll be easy for them to actually close distances and get openings onto the likes of Brewmaster Death Prophet. Now an Ogre Magi. Oh man, this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, I think it's the second Ogre we're going to see today. First one definitely didn't work out as expected for the team who picked it. But Vengeful Spirit, I get, is there a slight chance that it might even be a core one here, potentially?
I guess there is. Vengeful Spirit does have that a little bit of flexibility, so you can do that later on. But Vengeful Spirit is pretty garbage against Brewmaster when you're just going to be split upon. You can't do anything about that. So you're going to have to rely on your teammates so heavily to get the initiation. I want to say it's a support for now, and down the line, if something that MSI pick up would indicate the Vengeful Spirit should be played as a core, they might want to make that transition, but I don't think there's any hero, at least no heroes come to mind, that would prompt that kind of switch. And, well, pretty much support Vengeful Spirit confirmed. Lifestealer is going to be the pick for Team Malaysia. Seeing the tanky heroes on the other end, I actually like this pick in this circumstance.
Well, to be honest, Lifestealer, they did run it against Aces. Actually, it was a mushy mid lane Lifestealer being solo. At the moment, they could even dual lane mid, to be honest. Something like Lich Lifestealer up against Death Prophet if they really wanted to. It could work out, of course. Any melee heroes might be at the slight disadvantage against Death Prophet, who first of all has nice base damage, great attack animation, plus the Crypt Swarm to spam out as well. So we'll see how Team Malaysia want to go about this. I guess they could send Batrider mid as well if they really wanted to. But for MSI, unless they want to run the Brewmaster safe lane, either it's going to be Brewmaster off for safe lane probably. But if it's actually Brewmaster safe lane, will the Ogre Magi Bloodlust even be a huge impact if it's just to boost up a Brewmaster or something like a Death Prophet?
It probably won't be. I mean, these two heroes usually don't rely on their right clicks that much. Brewmaster eventually can get to a stage where it'll be relevant. Of course, the movement speed is always nice. But really, Bloodlust on Ogre Magi, even if you don't have any heroes that go great with it, he's a fine hero regardless. Just because Ignite and Fire Blast, you're able to pump out so much magical damage. Maybe not towards the likes of the Lifestealer, but still having a hero that could drop a support pretty much by itself is always going to be relevant. And MSI are going to be more inclined to pick up a core hero that could benefit from Bloodlust, but it doesn't have to be the case. Brewmaster Death Prophet is a lot of mid-game team fight. Maybe they're going to pick up something late, although they themselves have banned out the Morphling Inspector, which would have been, I think, more of the way to go. I think a Weaver might not be too terrible here for MSI.
Weaver actually would be pretty good. Batrider, of course, with the lasso might be a small nuisance. Other than that, wouldn't have to be afraid of too much, really, especially if you got the Lincoln Sphere as well. So I wouldn't mind that pick at all, especially now that the Geminate attack is just that little bit stronger as well. So we'll see. Actually picking up a Bane at the moment. Nightmare into Fire Blast, it's like meh, but Bane overall is good against Lifestealer, of course. Even against Batrider, just immediately Nightmare him up, for example, if he comes in with that lasso if you're fast enough. Or Fiend's Grip goes through the rage of Lifestealer, so used to be one of, I guess, the most common counters as support for the Lifestealer. Just picked up now as well.
He's still pretty much the best counter versus Lifestealer. Just Lifestealer is a little bit more rare. Therefore, Bane is a little bit more rare as well. But still, the Enfeeble goes through. The Fiend's Grip goes through. Lifestealer will still have quite a few openings because he does have a pretty good way into the fights with the Batrider initiation. So infest into a Batrider, jump in for a lasso, you pop out as a Lifestealer, go to town. Most of the times that's going to result in a kill unless Brewmaster is very, very lucky. But MSI, they might want to consider banning out an even better vehicle for Lifestealer to get in. Storm Spirit, generally regarded as the best, at least in my opinion, it's the best. And it wouldn't be too bad for Team Malaysia. I'm not sure if they really want to go for that, though. There's quite a lot to deal with as far as lockdown is concerned, but it still could be a way to go if they're looking for another core, which they should be.
To be honest, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to a Storm Spirit. Just overall a pretty fun hero to see, plus the Lifestealer bomb. Well, any hero that can go for the Nake's bomb is going to be pretty good. Batrider so far, guess will be the major hero, but going for an Earthshaker, so we might be looking at a mushy mid lane Earthshaker once again here.
Okay, so you saw the game. Unfortunately, I did not. Was it just an Earthshaker into who was the other hero on the other end of the lane? Was it just Earthshaker versus
a Sniper?
Death Prophet? A what?
A Sniper.
Huh. Well, Death Prophet or Brewmaster is certainly a lot harder than that. So I don't know. Earthshaker core, as much as I love it, it's gonna have a very tough time.
To be honest, maybe they're going for like Lich, Lifestealer mid, Vengeful Earthshaker safe lane instead, or maybe they can swap the cores around as MSI. They pick up a Medusa as the last one. Definitely up against two melee cores, which they most likely will be for Malaysia, the Earthshaker and the Lifestealer. The Stone Gaze, actually, it's going to be pretty damn strong, to be honest.
Oh yeah, Stone Gaze is, I think, like one of just the best ultimates in the game, just because it buys you so much space, and it also makes you do some more damage sometimes. But Medusa's Stone Gaze also crucially goes through Lifestealer's Rage, and that'll be the game plan for Team Malaysia most of the time. Just lasso the Medusa with a Lifestealer inside the Batrider, try to bring the Medusa down. And if Medusa has Mana Shield up, then she's going to be extraordinarily tanky, and if she pops out Stone Gaze, then Team Malaysia can't get it. That being said, it's going to be quite a while until Medusa gets to that point of tankiness, and Lifestealer should have a relatively decent time before that, because MSI, they're most likely going to be running a defensive tri-lane with this. Running aggressive with Medusa is very difficult, especially against the tri-lane of Team Malaysia, so I expect the Medusa to try to get free space from MSI, but Team Malaysia definitely have the type of heroes that could punish this if they play their cards right. But Mushi on the Earthshaker, this is going to be a core shaker. Should be exciting.
It definitely should. And to introduce the lineups as well, for MSI Evolution Gaming team, Chotan will be on the Brewmaster, heading towards the offlane at least for the time being. JYC playing the Bane as YND on the Ogre Magi, leaving Shenroi on the Medusa, and X Lucky on the Death Prophet. I'm not sure if X Lucky was actually there yesterday or just changed the name or something, but well, Death Prophet regardless.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't ring a bell. So maybe I'm sure he changed his name or something like that. As I'm sure I would have remembered a name as easy to pronounce as X Lucky, especially amongst the other MSI teams. But on the Team Malaysia, we got X playing the support Vengeful Spirit. Mushi is going to be farming up the Earthshaker down on bottom. Actually, it's going to be Net handling the Lich. That leaves mid lane to KYXY's Lifestealer and top lane to Ohio's Batrider. Now the Batrider makes sense up there. The Lifestealer in the mid role is going to have a very tough time unless it is in fact a dual lane with the Lich. And that might be it. I don't know where Lich's items went. He only has one Tango, so he's not going to be able to help out that much in this lane.
Oh well, I guess we were semi-correct or kind of correct on the lanes, or at least we went through the possibilities of it. But Chotan and JYC, man, just such sneaky positioning. They're baiting this Ogre Magi so hard, oh my god.
Ogre Magi is going to grab himself a little bit more gold, and unfortunately, most of the time that's not going to work. You pretty much don't want to pick a fight with Ogre Magi. I think they probably should have switched the Bane and Ogre if they wanted to do that, because going for an Ogre Magi and killing him off is damn near impossible with what they have on the bottom lane, Team Malaysia. So it's unfortunately not going to result into anything, and we'll see how these lanes actually settle. It's going to be, as predicted, 3 heroes up on top defensively protecting the Medusa from this Batrider. Batriders probably shouldn't be getting that much. A dual lane for Team Malaysia, and already the Enfeeble is going to start to come out. KYXY is going to have a very difficult time last hitting. Although he's going to get one, I don't think he's going to get that much more. He's at 34 base damage. It's hard.
It definitely is. Of course, Bane, he can just continue on spamming it. He has like 2-3 more of those, and suddenly he has to clarity up as well. In the bottom lane, of course, since it's a dual lane Brewmaster's up against, he should be rather fine. Vengeful Spirit, not too sure how much he can do solo up against Brewmaster. Although, once they get a couple of levels, the minus armor coming out as well, Mushi and Extinct even might get the kill onto the Brewmaster if he just overextends just by a little bit. But overall, the laning situation, who do you favor across all 3 lanes here?
I think I like MSI's lanes a little bit more. The Brewmaster's doing just fine. He's not getting pressured that much. He's not getting that much gold, but you can't really expect that much gold. He's going to get stunned up twice down on bottom lane, taking a lot of damage, but these are 2 level 1 heroes that don't do that much. Jotan's going to walk away from that one. Mid lane is pretty safe, as the Death Prophet should have a nice edge on this lane, even without the Bane. Adding the Bane pretty much secures it for the DP, and they're going to win that lane pretty handily. And then up top, Batriders should be getting zoned out pretty much by the threat of Ogre Magi in itself. So I would say MSI overall have stronger lanes, but Team Malaysia can definitely get things going once they get a couple of levels up.
Well, looks like, oh, no rune battle coming out. Ohio comes in as well to help out, and actually they're going to leave the rune to Ohio. I guess Bounty Rune is probably the better rune to get for an offlaner, but Illusion will have to do for him at the moment. And the side pulls just keep on coming from MSI as well. It's a double stack after all. Better try to do something about it with a Firefly, but level 1 Firefly with no stick in napalm stacks really isn't all that scary. Although he's trying to go back in. But Shenroi is just going to stand his ground on the Medusa and actually doing a lot of physical damage already.
Yeah, Medusa actually doesn't have that many items and is typically not a high damage hero, but still if you get that many free shots, you're going to be doing some pretty good damage, no matter who's on the receiving end of that. So Medusa Ogre Magi, not exactly the most common of lanes, but certainly serviceable if the Batrider is all alone and unable to do that much. And they're zoning out the Batrider pretty heavily. He is going to have to depend on some stacks in order to get himself back into this game, and that's why we see Net starting to stack up some hard camps for that Batrider, I'm sure. And he's going to have to get that. If he doesn't, then he's going to be a pretty irrelevant hero in this game. And, well, so far, there's going to be lanes as per normal. No aggression from either side just yet. Earthshaker is an explosively powerful hero. Like, you know, you could kind of hear that in his sound effects, but he's going to need a little bit more time before he actually gets going, especially when he's dueling up against the Brewmaster like that. Earthshaker versus Brewmaster is not a good Earthshaker matchup.
At least not early on. I mean, maybe if Earthshaker has enough levels to actually have that enchant totem maxed out, then maybe, of course. Even then, to be honest, the Drunken Brawler might just completely screw over his right clicks. So yeah, I kind of tend to agree, and look at Bane so far. He went for the first point into Enfeeble just because he was helping out mid lane, And now he even went for a Brain Sap, plus used it on a creep as well to get some health back. So no Nightmare, which means even if they want to go for the rotations, they really don't have the best setup. Ogre is going to have to be the one to just start with the Ignite or the Fire Blast.
Yeah, and that's a pretty decent way to start. I mean, he has boots, and Ignite's cast range is pretty good, so you don't exactly need the Nightmare to set things up, especially since he doesn't have boots, so Bane is pretty much there for the damage. It's, I think, the correct way to go, as they are going to start their rotations out potentially. The Ogre and Bane going to together try to just do something. No, they're going to turn around and turn right back around. Okay, so no aggression happening just yet, but I don't think this Bane's skill build is going to be entirely relevant, as neither side really want to do anything. So he's going to have level 4, level 5 by the time anything really starts up, it looks like.
Well, it certainly looks like it, and I think it's one of the more passive games we've had today. I mean, 4.5 minutes in, not a kill on the board yet. And really, we haven't even gotten close to a kill anywhere, I think, on any lane, unless I've completely missed it.
Just Batrider taking some damage up on top was pretty much the closest, but he was never in any real danger, so it's just going to be a very nice passive farming start for both sides. Lifestealer, he has spent his money as phase boots. It is going to be phase boots for this Lifestealer. I think he's just going to go for the early game fighting build. With an Earthshaker core, you kind of have to fight early. You can't afford to let the game get too drawn out. They're going to go for X-Lucky over on mid. They already opened wounds, and the Magic Missile has already been committed. The slow from the Lich, that's going to be first blood. KYXY draws it over on mid. Not the lane I expected to lose first blood.
Yeah, actually Mushi bottom lane might be going down just after that. The Fisher buys some time, but the right clicks will be enough to bring him down. YND on the Ogre picks up the kill, so it was just about 10 seconds differentiating who is going to get the first blood, which team. But at least MSI get the return, and I think it's maybe a little bit better for MSI. First of all, Brewmaster gets closer to level 6 plus. Earthshaker as a core, he definitely needs more momentum, I think, than a Death Prophet.
Yeah, if you're going to be doing well in Earthshaker, you need to have levels and you need to have items. He can play, as always, a budget role. That's usually what you're going to be seeing Earthshaker doing. But if you're going to give him that much priority in farm and he's playing a budget role, then you're probably not going to be doing very well in that game since you're down a core, and that's never a good thing. KYXY is now going to have to deal with the Bane once again. With the phase boots, he's going to do some pretty decent damage, but this Brewmaster is getting closer and closer to the threat level of level 6, plus the threat of the Blink Dagger, which is going to be a little bit further off, but still the Brewmaster is not being shut down in this bottom lane at all. Whereas the Batrider, he's been jungling up pretty decently. He is nowhere close to this Blink Dagger either. They're going to go for Mushi again, potentially. No, they're not. But Ohio, he's nowhere close to his Blink Dagger. Level 5, you can't really get much done in the Batrider straight level 6 without a Blink. At least it's a lot more difficult to do so than, say, a Brewmaster who's straight level 6 without Blink.
He's actually still pretty far off the Blink, indeed. I guess he can still get it by 10 minutes if the stacks are going to be enough. At some point, he can try to go back top lane. Oh, man.
They're going to go for Mushi. Fire Blast, Clap. There's the enchant. They have an Echo Slam. Jotan's going to get Chain Stun. No, the Fisher's not going to land. And now the tower shots. Will it miss? It won't, but the bottle is going to keep him alive. Earthshaker damage is pretty huge, but the cast point is terrible. Now X-Lucky over on mid lane is going to get his wounds open. That's going to be a return kill over on mid. Once again, it's going to be even trades. Mushi for the Death Prophet.
Well, it's so damn funny that both of the times the same heroes have died, but in different order. So I guess both teams have their priorities set, really. One is to disrupt Mushi, the other the Death Prophet. And to be honest, if a Death Prophet doesn't get the early levels, he's not going to be as scary either. At least not as fast, not half as fast even. But of course Medusa keeps on free farming in the meantime. 45 and 13. Actually I thought Ohio is going to go on him, but doesn't even have less health, so just wanted to Firefly up, track the creep wave, and maybe get that double stack from the jungle.
So Medusa has been pretty much farming uninterrupted in this game. Has second most net worth behind the Lifestealer, but Lifestealer has 2 kills under his belt, so Medusa is doing very well. I expect to see the mobility build coming out from the Medusa. I just think it's the strongest way to go, and Lincoln Sphere is not going to be too bad in this game. In fact, it's going to be pretty good, so she might want to drop for that build instead. They're going to get the lasso onto YND, pull him back into the tier 1 tower. Nightmare's going to save him some HP, and now the Stone Gaze from Shunroy. X is going to try to run into this. Bad idea. Net is going to get chain stunned up. However, the Fire Blast is going to be nullified by the Stone Form. Now he's thinking about casting the Chain Frost. He's not going to even need it, as the Lifestealer does come in to finish off the Bane. That was very unfortunate Stone Form from the Medusa, and I don't know if it was intentional from Net, but he saved himself from dying because of that Stone Form.
Oh, but bottom lane, they're gonna go for Mushi. Primal Split use as well after the Thunderclap. The Boulder Toss came out and Mushi, I don't think there's running away from this. Even using the Cyclone for it, he's gonna dispel it almost immediately. Another Boulder Toss and, well, that's Mushi's third death. And actually Net, he comes in with low HP as well. The Boulder Toss unfortunately was still on cooldown. Double damage activated on Chotan. If he can bottle up for another Thunderclap, one right click, Net would be dead already.
Net is wheeling those Tranquils, so he's gonna be pretty quick. He's at 375 movement speed, and I don't think the Brewmaster can close the distance fast enough. Regardless of that fact, it is still the Earthshaker dying for the third time. As well as he's farming on the bottom lane, he has a ton of denies, 43 and 30. That's pretty insane from Mushi, but it's not really going to be relevant if he can't survive in this game. And Jotan is looking for the wraparound. There's the tower dive, and Net sleeping at the wheel. He's going to start running away. Frost Blast is going to buy him a little bit of time. Now here comes Ohio. Doesn't have any lasso, but the Chain Frost is out, and Jotan slowed down by quite a bit. I don't think this Brewmaster can escape from this one. He's definitely going to burn. That's going to be a good rotation from the Batrider, saving his Lich and getting a kill on a pretty crucial hero to get a kill on, slowing down his Blink Dagger.
To be honest, I think Brewmaster made a huge mistake in calculation as well. I mean, Lich, he has 375 movement speed, which is 25 more than the Brewmaster was working with. So he needed to, I don't know, catch him by surprise when Lich was a little bit more out of position. But coming in from behind like that, when the Lich is sitting around here, it just gives plenty of time for the Lich to really react, which he did as well. So excellently done, nice Batrider rotation, and it's going to delay the Brewmaster's blink quite heavily, to be honest. He was sitting at like 1650 gold or something. But he lost almost 300 of it. Of course, had to purchase a TP as well, so nice pick-off. But looking at the net worth overall, Medusa is still number one, but even KYXY is actually farming pretty damn well. Going for that armlet build, actually.
So it is going to be a very early game-based build for the Lifestealer. And with the Blink Dagger now picked up on the Batrider, it's easy to see why. They're going to start to look towards this Medusa. She is going to go for the Lincoln Sphere, but certainly a Ring of Health isn't going to help her right now because the Lasso is imminent. There is sufficient backup, however. Ogre Magi, level 6 with the multicast, is going to be hitting like a truck. They're going to jump in on Shenroi there, and the sports aren't in position. Dragging her back into the Frost Blast, into these open wounds. Stone Gaze out for just a millisecond as he is going to burn the Medusa. That's going to be first usage of the Blink Dagger. Now they're going to look for a little bit more. YND and JYC a little bit over staying their welcome just a little bit. And now the Fizz are going to catch onto two. We'll kill off the Ogre Magi. Here comes X Lucky from the side with the Exorcism already popped. Flame Break will push him back a little bit, but I don't think the Batrider can escape. Crypt Swarm, he's going to start at 30 HP, and Mushi's also going to escape. KYXY dueling up against the Bane is going to have his Infest to get himself out if he really needs to, or to add the burst damage. He's not going to actually use it to kill off the Bane. However, the creep's going back towards the Bane. No, I think the Lifestealer is going to ride this creep all the way back into his side of the map.
Probably, or at least that would be the smart decision, considering he's surrounded by 3 enemy heroes. Primal Split also there for Chotan. And I'm not too sure if my MSI even know that he's in that creep. But oh, it's actually getting dangerously close. No, never mind, Shenroi. Ah, you're pushing out the lane. Oh, actually, they're going to go for the turnaround. Frost Blast onto Shenroi. He gets the mana shield off, but will it actually be enough? I don't think so. Flame Break comes out as well on Ohio. He's dominating on the Batrider already.
They really had no idea that Lifestealer was in there. You don't do that if you know the Lifestealer is in one of those creeps. You deny your own creeps and let the enemy creeps just kill it off so that you could get the jump on the Lifestealer more so than the Lifestealer can get the jump on you. But Medusa, for whatever reason, is not paying attention, and she ends up dying again. That's pretty bad for her, and now a pretty nice pickup for the Team Malaysia side as they get another kill on the core hero on the enemy side, one of the most crucial heroes to take, and they get a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker, who now has maxed out Enchant Totem. This is going to hurt, and who's going to be the unlucky recipient of this? It looks like it might be the Bane. He's probably going to get Echo Slammed, I want to say, and if Jotan shows his face, he could very well get Chain Stun as well. Radiant's Courier goes down, though. That's a huge Courier to pick off. What was it holding? It was holding the completed Armlet. Oh man, that's going to be really upsetting for the Lifestealer. He's now sitting on 2 pretty much dead items in his inventory for another 3 minutes, but still in the bottom lane. Gotta watch out for that Blink initiation. Earthshaker should be looking for this one. However, he's now completely surrounded. Blink out Mushi. He's not going to get the chance to. Now initiation onto JYC. Already the Flame Blast onto Mushi, but the Chain Frost is bouncing through. Will annihilate the Bane. Now continue bouncing through the Ogre Magi. Split is there from the Brewmaster, and they're going to drop the Earthshaker very quickly, but KYXY on the back end going to go for X Lucky with the open wounds. Movement speed from the Death Prophet. Not going to be enough with the Batrider blinking forward. Now the Brewmaster, the only one to survive, is going to try to book it with his split Brewlings, and he looks like he should be successful, although KYXY in the front line is going to try to get onto Jotan. Blink Dagger is going to keep him safe, though. Regardless, that is still a 3-for-1. Earthshaker dying, which is kind of unfortunate, but he has his Blink Dagger already, and the rest of his team getting the cleanup is perfectly worth it.
I think that's probably one of the bigger weaknesses of an Earthshaker core, that you blink in, yes, you do a crazy amount of damage, but once you use all of your spells and you're completely dry, there's no way out for you anymore all of a sudden, and you're not really a tanky hero, to be honest. At least not for a strength hero usually. And oh, Ohio, he blinks in, doesn't get anything done, it's just gonna get stunned up. Blink, Thunderclap as well. Extinct even swaps Ohio, although still under the tower, the slows are real. But the KYXY, if they open wounds onto Ogre, they do make it out. Ohio though, that blink, I'm not too sure what it was actually supposed to accomplish, as in the mid lane, Mushi together with Net bring down Shenroy. So Medusa 0-3-0 so far.
And Mushi getting a little bit of something. That enchant totem pretty much took out half of Medusa's HP. Kind of to be expected, as Earthshaker does hit like a freaking truck, and he's able to spam that out. And if you're a Medusa, you really want a little bit more as far as items are concerned before you start doing anything for your team. Like, he is holding on to the Ring of Health, now into the Band of Elven Skin. I've seen a couple of players do this, and it usually ends up being Lincoln Sphere and then Yasha, depending on what you actually want to pick up first, of course. But 11-4, and Team Malaysia are holding a pretty nice lead in this game. And crucially, a lot of that gold is going to the Lifestealer, who, even though has been kind of in a weird dual lane mid for the early stages, is still going to be able to do Lifestealer things and just absolutely truck people later on. So it's going to be a tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade, but Team Malaysia, they're looking for a little bit more. Batrider into the air is going to find a very poor Medusa, pulled back into Mushi's damage. Let's see how much this enchant totem does. Quite a bit, even though it's a level 3 mana shield. It's going to be KYXY to come in with the rage cleanup. Medusa down for the 4th time this game.
It's just such a huge blow to MSI. Just keeping the one hero down. Actually, oh, Extinct. There's the Echo Slam though. They're going only onto Illusions. What a bait it was. There's the Fire Blast onto Extinct. They're gonna go down immediately. Ohio, I don't think it's gonna be fast enough. He's already slowed down. The right clicks will bring him down. So they get 2 in return for that Medusa that fell earlier. And man, this Illusion bait just... I guess Team Malaysia must be pretty infuriated at the moment by this.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was the first Echo Slam that Mushi used. And it was literally on no heroes, which is unfortunate. Now Net and Mushi also in quite a bit of trouble. They're going to get wrapped around on top lane. Net is going to spot this one out for the team. Mushi in a lot of trouble though. He's going to get blinked upon. Net. Now the Fire Blast and Chain Stun. He's going to drop Mushi in a corner. Has Fissure and TP to get himself out of here. He's going to blink to the south and just try to book it, but the grip from long range. JYC is going to secure this kill for the team. Swap out from X though. He's going to make Mushi survive for a little while longer, but Mushi can't blink out of there, and now X up into the air is also going to go down here. Oh man, Team Malaysia with the throws. Now they're going to reinitiate onto X Lucky, open wounds onto the Death Prophet. She's very fast, but I don't know if she's fast enough. Mushi buying back, nice Fissure onto a whole bunch of heroes. The Enchant Totem gonna kill off that Death Prophet, but they're all gonna get fire blasted as well as slammed by the Brewmaster. Gonna kill off Ohio pretty quickly. KYXY slow to a crawl, can't get his hands into anyone. Mushi off to the side, looking for initiation. He's not jumping in though. KYXY is very tanky. There's the reinitiation onto a 2-man with a Fissure onto 3. YND as well as JYC should be dropping as Net does teleport in. Gonna get the slow onto Shenroy. KYXY on the chase, but the Fissure block is just barely there. The Chain Frost to slow down Shenroy just a little bit more, just so that KYXY can get a little bit closer. Mushi's gonna jump forward for another Enchant Totem hit, and that's gonna be a nice set of return kills for Team Malaysia. They let the Bane get away, and Bane's somehow going to make that happen, but still, it's gonna cost them a buyback on the Earthshaker, but it's a buyback that's very much so worth it.
Yeah, definitely is, and not only that, they also get a deny on the tower, so... even better, just insult to injury really for MSI and make it 15-10. Team Malaysia, they're holding a pretty good advantage, although actually gold after the last fights, after some towers going down, is zeroed out now. XP, also actually it was a pretty huge drop after MSI took that one huge fight. Now slowly going back towards the favor of Team Malaysia, but all in all, I think MSI probably pretty damn happy about how that fight went. Yes, they lost a couple of kills, and one thing I don't really understand is Shenroy, why the hell doesn't he have a magic wand? Medusa, especially if you're up against the Batrider, there's just so much spamming going on, and getting that extra mana makes it so that your mana shield will be even more useful. I just think a magic wand on Medusa would have been great in this game, just get a few extra Mystic Snakes off in the fights as well. I don't know, maybe it's just me imagining things.
No, it's definitely not just you. Magic Wand on Medusa or Magic Stick, no matter how much you want to build up that item, it's so great on Medusa because her mana equals her health. So you get double value. Whenever you pop Magic Stick, you get pretty much twice as much health as you normally get on other heroes. So it's a great item to pick up on Medusa, but it's also an item that Medusa would rather not have clogging up her inventory. So it is great on the hero, but some players just choose not to do it just because it takes too long. It slows down your more important damage items, and that's an understandable way of thought as well. So either way, it's going to be Medusa who's constantly going to be aggressed upon, and she doesn't really have great initiation to back her up. It's always her getting initiated. This Bat Rider making it happen. Now that Ohio has a Force Staff, the initiations are going to be so much easier.
They can just bring them so far out of position, and not like they even need it that much, since of course Mushi can also follow up with his own Blink Dagger. KYXY is just fast with the Face Boots, now going for the SNY as well, probably already has the Sanj. So Team Malaysia looking pretty good, and Chotan, oh, couldn't get the Blink Thunderclap in time. Mushi was fast enough on his fingers, who actually has Boots of Travels now as well. So just Earthshaker, extremely mobile.
And also, speaking of mobility, it looks like we're going to be seeing our first Lifestealer Bomb of the game. They get a jump onto X-Lucky, Echo Slam being committed, and a Chain Frost. It's a lot to kill off the Death Prophet, but I guess they get her. Now it's going to be a 4v5 upcoming, and if they can initiate with the Bat Rider once again, that could be another easy pick-off. Maybe not onto Jotan, but everyone else for sure. Blink forward. They're going to look for the lasso. They're going to get stunned up, though. Ohio taking a little bit of damage from that multicast. Unfortunately, they can't get anything to happen. I'm pretty sure at this point, MSI knows the Lifestealer Bomb is in effect, so they're going to fall back, but either way, it's a kill for Team Malaysia, and it's a kill on an important hero as well.
It definitely is, so as long as they can keep getting the pickoffs, and how long do you think it's actually worth it to just keep on being infested? Because you're not farming at the same time, you're not getting much of anything done, but do they really want to just keep on baiting it out on Ohio like that?
Well, I mean, the longer you are in the Bat Rider, the harder it is for the other team to read where your Lifestealer is, because at a certain point they're like, well, Lifestealer can't possibly still be in the Bat Rider, so let's go on the Bat Rider right now. That being said, Lifestealer would rather be farming right now, but he is like still on top of the net worth chart, so even if he's not farming, it's not going to hurt him that much since he is already so stacked, but this is, I think, a little bit too excessive.
Maybe they're waiting for that Infest to cool off once again or something, I don't even know. Actually, they're
Next
in the
level
Roche pit
double
now.
Infest.
I have no clue. But
Well,
Ohio is going in, but he gets spotted. There's the Phoenix Grip immediately. Infest comes up, but will it actually be enough? I don't think so. Primal Split is there. Ohio is the first one to fall. JYC will go down. Oh, the Nightmare actually might get the deny. It gets toggled off. KYXY actually toggles it himself. Gonna get Boulder Tossed as well. There's the Brain Sap. They're pretty healthy, and Fire Blast to follow. No multicast. Might not even be necessary. Or will it? No, it won't. X-Lucky comes in as well. Armlet Toggle is just not gonna be enough. And double kill for Chotan. 3 heroes down. And, well, Team Malaysia just over-aggression.
Maybe a little bit. The rest of the heroes were warded off by Death Prophet solo. That was Vengeful Spirit going down. They're going to pick off Shenrui up on top lane again, actually. So I guess no matter what happens for MSI, their Medusa is still not going to be getting anything. But still, a 3-for-1 trade, more than worth it. The Observer change near the Roshan pit, certainly helping MSI so much. Seeing the Bat Rider coming is going to mean that you have time to prepare, and that's exactly what MSI did. They had all the time in the world to get people into position, but Lucky might not be as lucky this time, as he can get pulled right back into the tower. Fissure's available, though it's not being thrown just yet. Blink forward for an enchant, multicast onto Mushi, and the Magic Missile will bring down the Death Prophet. Now they're going to go for Jotan. Echo Slam's out, not doing too much damage, just for the chain stun, and with the fire on the Brewmaster, he doesn't have a great way to escape, although it looks like with the Nightmare in Ohio, he might get away. With the Blink Dagger on Mushi, he's going to slam him down. 300 damage crit is going to bring him down. Now JYC and YND both in a little bit of trouble. No lasso, however, and Bat Rider's actually running low on mana, but here comes KYXY. Doesn't have that much movement speed, but with the phase boots to his advantage, he's going to close the distance in order to get that open wounds. Nightmare not going to be doing jack, as JYC is going to get torn to shreds. That's going to be 3 kills for Team Malaysia, and they are holding on to their towers as well. Still, 7-kill advantage for them, and the gold lead and experience lead not as much for Team Malaysia as you would expect, but still pretty hefty.
And those fights, they're pretty crazy. I mean, every time it feels like one team gets the advantage, they kind of overextend or overstay their welcome and lose more or less the same amount that they gained just before. And even in the net worth, it's pretty damn even across multiple heroes. Like all the cores are farming the exact same amount as far as net worth is concerned, or at least are close enough to each other. So it's still anybody's game for sure. I mean, Medusa really hasn't been able to do much of anything so far. He's just been farming and getting picked off. But if he gets only a couple of damage items suddenly with the Bloodlust to boost up the attack speed and Split Shot being maxed out at the time, it can definitely start adding up. But of course, so can Mushi's damage. You don't really need much for the Enchant Totem to do a crazy amount of damage, really.
Yeah, you want to be building strength, and with the Blink Dagger Force Staff already up, with the Boots of Travels as well, Mushi's sitting on a lot of net worth that doesn't actually help him do damage, but it's still enough damage that he's pumping out to make it so that he's not uncomfortable with his item choices. I expect he's going to be going for a whole bunch of strength items in the future, so that Enchant Totem is going to be hitting harder. maybe even a crit if we're lucky, but Earthshaker is pretty much doing as much damage as he could possibly want, and MSI, they're certainly feeling it. Like 300 damage a pop with the Enchant Totem. I think it might be a little bit more, depending on who he hits, but it's still a lot of damage from the Earthshaker, and MSI don't really have a great response aside from just locking him down. It's still very easy to kill if you get your hands on him, but with Force Staff, Blink Dagger, and Ice Armor, getting your hands on him is very difficult. Now the Grip is going to be tempted onto the Lifestealer, but he'll think better of it, the Bane. And then they'll smoke up and try to look for someone else.
Well, at least they still have the Grip for them. I think he might have just gotten Fog there as well, plus of course SNY Lifestealer with Face Boots. Just a crazy race car in the making, but oh, Ohio, he's gonna break the invis, or the smoke rather, with his own invis. Do they have dust, sentries, anything? No, they do not, so Ohio just completely spoiling that one gank.
Yeah, there's no reason for MSI to be holding dusts or anything like that. Maybe sentries, but no dust, because there's no invisibility on Team Malaysia, and Ohio still in the area. He's going to jump forward for JYC, bring him right back into Mushi. Big hit with the Enchant Totem, just instead Fissure first, and that's going to be death of the Bane. In fact, using Echo Slam for it. Mushi now getting hit with the Boulder, and I don't think Mushi's going to escape. He's completely out of mana. He can get hit with the Multicast, and he's going to go down. In the meantime, Lucky looking for someone else to Yules up into the air. It's going to be X who takes the fall, if anyone at all. And yes, it will be Vengeful Spirit up, right back down, trying to TP out, but Cyclone is there, being bounced right back up into the air again. This is going to be death of the Vengeful Spirit, almost for sure, especially if there's a Multicast, and well, yeah, X is just completely screwed. That's going to be 2 for 1 in favor of MSI over on top lane. But at the same time, KYXY is going to take a tower and possibly go for this Medusa, who's going to teleport in. Doesn't have Stone Gaze. Bad move, Medusa. Has Jotan to back him up. KYXY going to town on this Dusa. He's going to have to worry about a lot of support coming in as KYXY now getting some help from Ohio, but they both have to leave. Blink forward from Jotan, going to slow down KYXY by quite a large margin. And now he's going to beat down on Lifestealer, but into the Batrider. Hasted he goes, and he's off like a bull with gas. Ohio is thinking about reinitiating on this one as YND looking awfully tasty. Flame Break's going to drop him even lower. Needs a blink, though, for that infest, and he's going to instead blink out. Play it safe. 2v4 might be a little bit too much for Ohio as well as KYXY.
I think it was the better decision as well, especially considering that they have been giving away a couple of kills that maybe shouldn't have really happened. But of course, their 2 cores still #1 in net for both the Lifestealer and Earthshaker. Pretty even there as well. And looks like Mushi going for that Aghanim Scepter of his, by the looks of it. Wants to boost up the Echo Slam, which is actually going to be level 3 in only 1 level. So looking at the levels overall, both Lifestealer and Earthshaker level 15. And overall, and what do the graphs say? About a 6,000 lead for Team Malaysia in XP. Almost 5,000, or soon enough to be 5,000 for gold as well. So looks like Team Malaysia, they are still ahead. And oh, what? Aghanim Scepter done for net already.
It's time for some ancient shenanigans, right? Maybe, I don't know. It's not the item I really would have expected from a Lich. The fact that Team Malaysia don't have a mech and the Lich isn't building one is a little bit disconcerting, as Lich is such a great carrier of the item. That being said, the Aghanim Scepter is actually pretty good against Brewmaster just because he rarely splits up his Brewlings in a big way, so you're going to most likely get a couple of bounces off of this one, but is it worth it? I don't think it is. Mech is just
he's in no man's land. He's gonna blink out, but there's no TP. Or actually, never mind, Force Staff. I completely misjudged it because I was like, no TP scroll, but Boots of Travels are a little bit better even. So he does escape with a nice Force Staff there. I was almost positive that he's gonna just get killed there.
Well, either way, it is Mushi barely dodging death, and as the rest of his team is going to be taking the tier 1. Here comes Medusa once again, but unknowns to her, she's completely surrounded. Blink forward from everyone. Lincoln Sphere is going to be popped by the lasso, in fact. Now KYXY turned to stone. He's taking some pretty serious damage. He does have an infest, though. And let's see if MSI figure this one out. X off to the sidelines is going to run straight into Death Prophet. Already with Exorcism out, is going to drop very quickly. Now Net, maybe Panic Chain Frost. There it goes. Will kill off one immediately. It's going to bounce through all of these Brewlings, and KYXY off to the side is going to escape. Now the Lich Chain Frost is going to run dry, and KYXY is going to get clapped. Doesn't have Armlet on, though. And he's going to get critted down by Jotan. That's 3 for 1. Pretty much the same exact trade as last time. Bane going to go down, but it's a small price to pay if you're MSI. Lasso is going to be pretty crucial, and if it's blocked by Lincoln Sphere, you're going to be pretty upset. But Mushi, thinking about making some big plays, has an Aghanim Scepter very soon. Thinking about Jotan with an Echo Slam, though. Will it be enough? I don't know if it will be. He doesn't have a split, but he's still very tanky. He's not going to get the opportunity.
Wow, just what a fight it was, and to be honest, it was the perfect bait as well. Medusa literally just finished up the Lincoln Sphere before TPing into the mid lane like that, and there was no way Team Malaysia would have had an idea that it is finished there, so nicely done. And of course, thank God that Malaysia weren't on Medusa just with all of the heroes, because they were like, yeah, 2 of the heroes are going to be enough with the Lasso coming out. If they had the Echo Slam or just Mushi being there with the right clicks, I still think Medusa would have died, but not to be. So great fight once again for MSI. And Medusa just keeps on getting the items. Still not level 1 or number 1 in net worth, but he's close enough to be honest. And MSI, it's not like they're losing any objectives, any buildings.
Yeah, even though she's not, they're going to go for X Lucky. They're going to pick the Death Prophet off pretty quickly. A little bit slower with the Yule Scepter, but he's dead. Even though she's not number 1 in the net worth, the fact that she has Bloodlust backing her up, and it's only level 2 Bloodlust for now, but it'll get a lot stronger, means that she's going to have another artificially like 2,000 gold being added to her net worth, just because it's pretty much Hyperstone amount of advantage, a little bit more so than that actually. So Medusa's still going to have a whole bunch of threat to offer to her team. Now the wraparound from Team Malaysia. They're thinking about jumping in with Mushi, but there's a blink in onto KYXY. The split is out, and now he's just going to run away. Mushi's going to land the fissure onto everyone. Chain Frost is out. Will kill off most of these Brewlings. How much will it bounce, though? It's going to bounce a piece of Brewlings. Will kill off the Storm one for sure, but then it's going to run dry. That Aghanim Scepter doing jack all. Mushi's going to get picked off, and the rest of MSI are going to be very comfortable to move forward. This Chain Frost is so underwhelming.
Sorry, I had to cough there, but at least, I mean, it kills off the Brewlings apart from the Earth Panda, so they can't chase people up and throw them in the air or something. And of course, you could see that MSI, they actually wanted to follow up with the rest of their heroes as well to chase them down. But it was a nice split. They were like, yeah, screw, we're just gonna make the Branda Brewlings tank it all up, and it's more of a zoning than damaging feature, I guess.
Oh, high open to the air. Gonna run into the Bane, but we saw how well these Bane trades have been going in the past. They're gonna bring him down, but now typically Team Malaysia lose 3 heroes, so let's see if that's going to happen. They're gonna go right back into the Roshan pit. KYXY knows about this, as does the rest of Team Malaysia. Ohio up to the air, gonna get perfect vision on everything, and Flame Breaks have gotta be the biggest threat right now. X off to the sidelines, and throw the wave as KYXY thinking about going in, but the Stone Gaze is gonna confirm MSI that Roshan. Now they're going to go for KYXY or X, whoever they could get their hands on. It's going to be the Vengeful Spirit first, and she's going to drop. KYXY still in the area, can't really do anything. It's a 1-for-1, but jump forward for Mushi. Echo Slam onto 3, with a fissure onto 3 as well. That's going to be the Ogre Magi down. X Lucky is going to be brought down soon after. That's going to be a very nice cleanup for Team Malaysia, especially if they get one more, but I don't think they'll be able to get that. Still, the Medusa escapes with the Aegis, but a really nice counter set of kills from Team Malaysia. Didn't look like they were going to get anything from that.
Yeah, really nicely done. Just 3-man Echo Slam like that. Fissure to follow up. The stun lock is extremely real from an Nerve Shaker if you can get all of the spells off there. So nicely done. He actually didn't even blink there. He force-staffed to the low ground into the Echo Slam. So nice angling there for Mushi for sure. And looking at the graphs, Team Malaysia still hold an advantage, about 4,000 in net worth, XP. I guess close enough to 4,000 as well now. Maybe updates a little bit. Yeah, actually closer to 5,000 now even. But oh, they're gonna catch another hero. JYC tried to use the defensive nightmare, but surrounded by 3 heroes, not gonna cut it really.
And because Team Malaysia caught him out at such a weird position, they know exactly where the ward is. So if they choose, they could get some sentries and make sure that the MSI side does not have that vision, or they could just play it cool and play within vision range. That's fine also. They actually have a gem on Bat Rider. They'll take that one out very quickly. In the meantime, KYXY beating down on the tier 2 tower with Bane down. It's going to be MSI fighting a 4v5. It's very possible for them to do that because they have the Aegis on the Medusa plus Stone Gaze. But it looks like it's not going to be Team Malaysia pushing the issue. They're just going to get more farm on this Lifestealer, and Assault Cuirass will be huge for the team, blocking a lot of damage from the Medusa, from the Death Prophet, at the same time making Earthshaker hit that much harder.
I would definitely be on board for that item, or well, he's going for it anyway, so if he can finish it up, it's going to be huge. I mean, if they're going to have the maxed out Ice Armor on top of it, and actually Lich, he's level 16, has the maxed out Chain Frost as well. To be honest, although it's not a huge lead for Team Malaysia, I still think they're doing well enough. Medusa, yes, he has the Manta style finish now on top of the Linkens, but it's not like her damage output is all that scary quite yet. And what do you think the next item will be? I mean, is he gonna go for some damage as well? TP cancelled Ohio. Would have been on that target immediately, but still, Medusa, will he go for that Eye of Skadi to try to kite the Lifestealer around, or just pure damage?
Generally, the item build is going to be Eye of Skadi, but going for a Butterfly, something like that, won't be too terrible either. Top lane, they're going to initiate on the Bat Rider, thrown up into the air by the Yule Scepter, now gripped up. KYXY doesn't have any tools to deal with this. He's going to try to kill off JYC, but he's taking so much physical. The creep, deny the creep.
What?
Guys.
Are you kidding me right now?
What the hell? Have they played against Lifestealer before? Do they know what he does?
I mean, it's not really even about lifestealer, it's just... Or I guess if you don't know what the ability does, then maybe, but... Do they know how the mechanics of Dota works? Laning situation? Come on, deny? Denying is the most fun thing in the game, to be honest. So, I don't know,
It's what separates us from the League players, and you're not doing it. What the hell? Oh man.
That was definitely, to be honest, a pretty huge mistake, which might just come back to bite them. And Mushi going for JYC, not gonna have enough damage though. At least not yet. 4-step forward, he has the Echo Slam as well, and he's gonna spend it for the kill. But the deny, man, just... It would have been a guaranteed kill on Lifestealer, I think.
Oh, definitely. Lifestealer was screwed. He wouldn't have gotten any HP from that invest, and now YND baited with the Observer Ward. Mushi's going to try to kill off this Ogre, but here comes Jotan. Magic Missile is going to fly, but Ogre Magi, very tanky, he's still going to survive. Now multicast onto Mushi, going to get swapped out, but he's still in quite a bit of danger. 4-staff to the low ground, going to be his only chance of survival if he teleports out right now, but X Lucky, actually another 4-staff up to the high ground, and how, holy crap, everyone's going to escape. I don't know how X managed to live, but I guess everyone from MSI focusing on Mushi, and they are very lucky to get out of there with no casualties.
Oh wow, so 35 minutes in, 28 to 21 is the kill score. Medusa still #1 in net worth, still holding on to the Aegis as well for another, actually only 1 minute, maybe even a little bit less, so not gonna be too huge of an impact really here. And oh wow, just I really can't wrap my mind around why they didn't deny the creep though. It's bugging me.
322. They're paid to not kill off the Lifestealer. I don't know. No, I'm not going to go there. Ohio has a Lifestealer inside of him. Wants to jump onto someone. Into Stone Gaze, though. It's always a little bit intimidating. The tower's going to be destroyed by Mushi. Now slowed down by the route of Atos. Jump forward with the Lifestealer bomb. Ohio's immediately going to get gripped, though, so there's no lasso. KYXY in the middle of all 5 heroes is going to take quite a bit of damage. Amplified by the Stone Gaze. He's going to get swapped out. Doesn't have an infest to back his way out. X going to this time give his life for sure. He's going to ensure the Lifestealer's survival. X Lucky is going to start chasing after Mushi. Mushi thinking about turning around for this one. Has another 4-staff and Blink Dagger soon enough. And he does have net to support, so it looks like the Earthshaker is going to live. Another 4-staff into Blink, and he's going to get away. Net also is going to survive. That's going to be 2 down for Team Malaysia, though. Really messy initiation. Jumping into that many heroes is pretty suicidal.
Where's the magic of 3rd kill that MSI have been getting every time Team Malaysia initiates? Man, what gives? What gives? They're going away from the traditions here, but all in all, really nice reaction, of course, by MSI, and the Stone Gaze has proven to be just an invaluable asset, really, so far for MSI. Every single time they get the Stone Gaze like that, they more or less win the fight, or at least they delay it out by quite a lot. And Medusa, still not as peak, but has another ultimate orb, so Eye of Skadi, I guess, is on the horizon for him.
Yeah, the Stone Gaze, as I said, is just such a great ultimate. It's kind of on a soft hero, so it's a little bit hard to evaluate it, but now Shenwu's going to eat an Echo Slam. Almost for sure. Where's the Echo Slam? You Echo Slammed one dude, but you're not going to do it onto a Medusa, and now the creep wave's gone. The Echo... What? Mushi, we have to talk about this, because this is a serious problem. He's now going to get slowed down by the Rod of Atos. Lucky is not going to commit onto this one, as Ohio does want to go right back in, gets thrown up into the air. Here comes KYXY from the right. He's going to slow down Lucky, and he's going to get nightmared, but I think this Death Prophet's dead. Here comes the Brewmaster. He's going to split out and try to kill Mushi, and he's going to do a pretty damn good job. Now the Chain Frost is out, mostly bouncing towards creeps, though. The Brewmaster on the run is going to take a lot of damage. The Chain Frost not doing jack in the back end. Earth Brewling is still on the run. Mushi going to take a single Fire Blast and a 4-staff from YND. He's going to get chased down by triple 4-staff from the enemy team. Magic Missile onto him, and KYXY opens up into the Ogre. Here comes Shenwei with the Stone Gaze, though. He's not going to turn anyone to stone, but he's still going to slow everyone down by quite a large margin as everyone buys back. KYXY is still alive. He's going to try to go for Shenwei, but he's actually going to try to run away. Everyone on Team Malaysia on full retreat. They're going to lose 2. Mushi's going to join up with KYXY for some reason, but now Mushi just in an all-grip position. 4-staff up to the high grounds available. TP out from KYXY. He's going to live, but Mushi not going to be as lucky. Okay, seriously, what the hell's going on with this game? This is so freaking weird.
Oh, I have no clue whatsoever. To be honest, my brain got baffled already by Invasion versus Team Malaysia, the game 2, which was pretty damn sick, but this game is just... They're chasing one way, then another all of a sudden. And even with MSI buying back there, they actually came out ahead later on. Although, Death Prophet having to buy back, Ogre as well. Not something you usually would like to do. And suddenly there's an AC finish on the Brewmaster, which completely negates that of the Lifestealers. And of course, it's going to help out them just getting the buildings as well, especially if Lifestealer isn't around at the same time. And this Medusa, does he have his eye? Well, he pretty much has his eye off the sky now after this tower goes down.
Alright, so MSI, they have had a pretty bad start in the early game. They're still a little bit down in the gold, but the experience is now bending back towards them. And Medusa, with the Stone Gaze, is just standing so strong versus everyone that Team Malaysia has to throw at them. They're going to try to initiate onto the Death Prophet, but the Bat Rider is going to hit with Fire Blast, dropping very low. KYXY is going to open up the YND. Gripped up, though, and no one's interrupting this. Force Staff forward, and KYXY is going to kill off the Ogre, finish him off, but still the Stone Gaze is out. Chain Frost is going to be doing literally nothing, as it doesn't bounce a single time. Brewmaster is going to catch Net into the corner, doesn't have a Force Staff to escape, and he will go down to the end. That's a 2-for-1 in favor of MSI, as KYXY off to the right side of the fight is most likely going to escape. Yule Cyclone is not going to escape just yet. He might want to fight his way out of this. No rage, though. He's silenced. He's stunned up. He's going to have to armlet toggle his way out of here. Popping armlet, trying to go for Lucky. This time, he has no creeps to infest into, unfortunately, but he's just not dying. He's getting so much life back from Lucky. No Brain Sap, no Fiend's Grip, no nothing. Clap is not going to hit either because of the rage. KYXY now on the run. Gonna try to look for a Centaur to restore a little bit of HP. There's the infest damage. Gonna bring Lucky very low. Now gonna try to go for Jotan. Here comes the rest of the support. Fissure's gonna kill off the Death Prophet off to the side as Jotan is gonna be focused down. They need an enchant totem. They need something. It's not in time. Mushi tries to use enchant totem for so far away, but it was too far, so we had to blink forward and try it again. And enchant totem takes a million years to come out. They let the Brewmaster live. Mushi is just not playing as we saw in the last games. They're gonna go for JYC. They will probably not get him. Nightmare is a pretty good tool, and Bane actually doesn't have a TP, so they still might chase, but still, I don't really know what's going on with Mushi's play right now.
Well, he did at least kill off Medusa before, and actually Medusa, he was left solo while everybody else was trying to chase down the Lifestealer, I think it was. So, I have no idea why Medusa, I think he died like here. A position where he definitely shouldn't have been. I mean, they got the tier 2, they got the favorable fight. If they all would have just gone for KYXY, might have gotten the kill and not fed away their lives like that, but I think Team Malaysia, all in all, they lost the tier 2, but I think the game came out ahead there. KYXY also finishing out the Basher now, but man, this chase of the Lifestealer, that was way too clowny.
Yeah, KYXY is really durable with the Assault Cuirass, and if he's able to lay into you with that Feast plus the Open Wounds additional lifesteal, it's very hard to escape. It's even harder now that he has his Basher up. They're going to look for JYC once again over on mid. They're going to catch him. Fire Blast, not in time this time. They're going to blow this Bane up, but they should. Split is out from the Brewmaster. Chain Frost, where is it? Not quite used yet, and now Shenroy with the Stone Gaze out. He's going to slow everyone down, put a lot of damage into Ohio. Finally, Chain Frost is there, but will it actually do anything? It's going to kill off no Brewlings. In fact, it's not going to do any damage to any real heroes. Off to the left side, it's going to be Vengeful Spirit getting demolished by the Death Prophet. Everyone else from Team Malaysia is going to back off. This time it's only a 1-for-1 trade. I guess the fights are slowly getting better for Team Malaysia, as previously they were giving 3-for-1s, but now they're going to be facing up against Roshan. Fortunately for them, MSI don't really have much exorcism left, so this is going to be a slower Roshan than it should be.
If they're even gonna go for it at all, I mean, Mushi is still around with an Echo Slam, and oh, there's an Infest Bomb into Mushi as well. He has the BKB. Should feel relatively safe, especially considering Exorcism on cooldown, the Stone Gaze on cooldown, and actually, they're gonna grab Erosion for themselves.
They have Lifestealer, who's pretty good at killing off Roshan, just the amount of damage he puts out. And MSI, they're still in the area, but Ohio with the Firefly is going to be such a huge advantage if he get initiation onto Shenroy. But even if they do, this Medusa is very tanky, doesn't have Stone Gaze though. Mushi going to throw a Fissure, they're going to open up onto Shenroy. The Lasso is not going to hit the Lincoln Sphere, they're going to open up onto Shenroy. Now the Chain Frost out in a pretty good position. Mushi going to land a 2-man Echo as well. Shenroy is going to drop. KYXY laying into him. Chain Frost still bouncing through, finally getting some value. Mushi into BKB is going to finish off Death Prophet as Jotan in the back end. Doesn't have a split either. Magic Missile or something needs to be casted on him. There's the stun finally as the rest of the team chasing up north. They're going to kill off JYC, or Mushi and Net should be able to secure that kill as KYXY goes now for Jotan. They're going to take a full 5-man wipe. It looks like JYC still barely alive, but for how long? Nightmare onto Mushi. Net take that one off. There you go. Mushi now has enough for a blink into an enchant totem. There it is. Blink, enchant totem, whack him down. That's going to be a full 5-man wipe plus an Aegis going the way of KYXY, all because the Medusa got a little bit too ahead of her team.
I have no idea why he even went there without the Stone Gaze, especially knowing that the Bat Rider or pretty much everybody from Team Malaysia was there. I think they had vision of them going into the Roach Pit as well with this one Observer Ward here. Maybe it was just placed as the fight started, or I have no clue, but 5 heroes down, Medusa suddenly not that far ahead in net worth once again. KYXY actually, after this tower, he's going to be pretty damn close to what I can only guess is going to be Abyssal Blade. I don't really think he's going to go for any other item before finishing Abyssal Blade, and once he gets that, the damage output is going to be absolutely sickening from Lifestealer.
And he's really the largest damage tool that they have versus the Medusa. He had so much time in order to focus the Medusa down because the lasso wasn't blocked by the sphere. So if that happens consistently, then Lifestealer will be able to kill off the Medusa. But there are still tools in order to deal with the Lifestealer, namely that's Fiend's Grip as well as the Enfeeble. So KYXY isn't going to have every single chance to do exactly what he did in that last fight. They're still going to put some serious hurt onto the top lane. They have Echo Slam soon, and they have all their other ultimates available as well, but going for this push is incredibly risky, even with the Aegis.
Just look at the graphs that they tell the entire story. Net worth suddenly skyrocketing to 10,000. XP though, even worse, a 16,000 swing pretty much. Sitting at 14,000 now in the favor of Team Malaysia. That's one of the most upward spirals I've seen in graphs in quite some time.
And this is despite all these really questionable plays from Team Malaysia. They're still coming out ahead, mostly because this Lifestealer is running wild in these fights. And MSI, they only have Fiend's Grip and Stone Gaze, and well, if those don't land, Lifestealer is going to be wreaking havoc amongst the enemy's side. Ohio also getting his initiations off. The Yule Scepter, going to be a very crucial item for him in order to reliably pop the Lincoln Sphere of the Medusa before he engages with the lasso. He's going to be very close to death, and I don't think he knows it. A huge 5-man smoke squad going to narrowly pass the Batrider, now going to the jungle. I don't think they're going to find anyone. Everyone else from Team Malaysia.
There was still the Chim on the ground from that last fight that happened in the jungle when they were chasing the Lifestealer. The Chim never got picked up. What the hell is this game?
This is just... I have no idea. Maybe Team Malaysia are tired because they just played 4 games? Possibly. Probably not, but this is just such a messy game. It's hilarious, but it's messy.
Well, at least everybody's nicely bloodlusted up, or at least close enough to everybody, being a little bit bigger. But I think the worst thing for MSI really at the moment is that X-Lucky, he doesn't have too much farm at all. I mean, he's even behind that Brewmaster. He's almost at the same net worth that the Lich has for Team Malaysia. Usually, your Death Prophets are just the unstoppable forces in the fights, like Heart of the Ras. Oh, the lasso onto Chotan. Will it be enough? Mushi goes in with the Echo Slam onto 2. Yule Scepter saves the Death Prophet for a little while, and actually there's the Stone Gaze. KYXY, he's taking so much damage, so can he infest? Nope, it's on cooldown already. They used the infest bomb. He had the Aegis though. But look at this, another Fire Blast gets the multicast onto net. Chain Frost still bouncing around, so it's doing a huge amount of damage actually. But YND now, can he escape? Another Frost Blast, another multicast, oh, triple one. He stays alive as well. You kidding me, right? The creeps, are they going to be enough range creep hero? No, not enough of a hero at the very least in the end. So it's a 3-4-1 in the end. KYXY somehow even makes it out, but Stone Gaze, man, what a turnaround.
Stone Gaze is a good skill, guys. I'm not just talking out of my ass. It does turn fights, and that was a really nice Echo Slam, or one of the nicer Echo Slams, let's say, from Mushi. Did a lot of damage, insta-give the Bane. But at the end of the day, it's another one of those 1-for-3 trades, and somehow this is like the 4th time this has happened where Bane has died, but Team Malaysia lose 3 heroes. This time it was actually 4 because they also lose the Aegis on the Lifestealer. The Chain Frost was finally relevant, but still wasn't even enough to kill off many people. YND surviving throughout all of that, dropped to single digits of HP, but the creeps unfortunately not quite strong enough to kill off an Ogre with 11 armor, so it's still going to be this game continuing as Team Malaysia, they are almost going to have a refresher orbit, looks like, on the Earthshaker, and that'll certainly help them take those team fights, but they initiated kind of ahead of the rest of the team. They have to go in as a group and probably initiate on the Medusa. Anything else is just not going to cut it.
By the way, do my eyes deceive me, or did Ohio really go for Dagon 2 now?
Oh, no, that's there. I don't know why, but it's pretty awesome.
Well, Dagon is always awesome, and to be honest, one thing we haven't really discussed at all is that if you get petrified from the Stone Gaze, you're taking 100% additional physical damage. So Exorcism combined with the Stone Gaze can actually be a pretty sick tool as well. But at the moment, Shenro is sitting on 4.6k gold on the Medusa. What's the next item?
Usually it's either Butterfly or something that just gives you plus flat damage. There's no evasion from Team Malaysia, so maybe going for MKB not the best. Daedalus, Butterfly, or Divine would be my 3 picks, and Mushi is going to run straight into Shenrui. He's going to get himself out of that situation, though. Either way, Medusa's going to be hitting like an absolute truck. She already is. And yeah, Stone Gaze, I don't know how it makes sense that units that are stone take more damage from physical, but who knows?
I mean, to be honest, if you're stoned and you, for example, fall over, you can break completely, so...
Ah. It all makes sense now. Thank you, Ice Frog. This game is so realistic.
Or overall, anything is stone, you kind of chisel into it and it starts breaking. Just, however, so I don't know.
I don't know either.
But to be honest, Lich, he had a pretty nice amount of net worth, but it really doesn't reflect in his items, does it? Just Aghanim Scepter, Force Staff, Tranquils.
Aghanims isn't doing anything, so it's like 4,000 gold that he burned picking up this Aghanims, which is killing off creep waves and being something that MSI have to be aware of, but they're not really playing around it because they don't have to. Again, I would have loved to see an mech from this Lich, or an Orchid, or really anything else than this Aghanim Scepter. Hell, even just save for a Mystic Staff and get a Sheep Stick a little bit later, because that would have been a lot more useful than the Aghanims is right now.
Definitely would have been, and oh, Infest into Ohio, actually tipping towards the top side. With the Boots of Travels, they're on the hunt for something, but they're gonna get spotted out, at least Mushi is, by this Observer Ward. A pretty defensive one, to be honest, for MSI. But I guess, since Team Malaysia, they are on the aggressive. Oh, JYC! Can they just Fiend Script up Mushi and get a kill like that? Of course, Battle Rider is close enough. And Mushi, oh, he's just gonna get the TP out. If it would have been like 2 seconds later, he would have been dead. But he makes it out.
That was so close. They think that he's still around, but unknowns to them, he did TP out instead of just walking away. Ohio's still up on top, and you better not go for this one, Bat Rider. If you do, so help me. I mean, level 2 Dagon might be able to kill someone. It is amplified by Napalm, right? So, huge combos there, but he's going to just take Lifestealer for a ride, and I don't know where they're going. They're leaving.
Neither do I really. But, oh, Mushi has finished up his refresher orb now. I saw him like a couple of minutes ago with that Oblivion Staff. So, double Echo Slam to come. Even double Enchant Totem with the right clicks to be honest can be pretty sick. It's not like it's a long cooldown, but the stun locks are going to be real with the refresher. Ohio, he's once again in the trees, just on the other side of the map now. They want to go for X Lucky. Thank God that the Death Prophet backed off in time. But Medusa has a Butterfly now as well. With the Bloodlust, that attack speed is absolutely through the roof.
That's 0.42 seconds per attack. Doesn't really mean that much, so we're going to have to wait until we see it in action. And this item is going to prompt Team Malaysia to get MKBs on their Lifestealer. Maybe even an MKB on the Earthshaker, though he's kind of gone for a more support Earthshaker build. Like, this is ideally what you want to have in your support Shaker if you get a 3-hour game and you're allowed to farm that much. But he actually isn't going to be hitting that hard at this stage. Even though he's level 25, technically still a core hero, he hasn't gone all in on the Enchant Totem, so MKB is not going to be relevant on him, and he's might even be in a little bit of danger. Medusa's closing in very quickly, and Mushi is going to TP straight away. He'll be just fine. In the meantime, Bat Rider, I don't know what he's doing. He's in the enemy base, just messing around with KYXY, who's again been this Bat Rider for like 3 minutes at the very least.
I'm getting some dirty thoughts at the moment. I don't know. It's been a long day already, and it's gonna be even longer after this.
Bad Coucher, bad. Bad
Coucher. Damn Estonians teaching bad stuff to children, or I guess children teaching bad stuff to other children, kind of. In any case,
I don't know where you're going with this one, but I don't want to find out.
Yeah, I was about to stop anyway, but Ohio, he's camping for something. I guess since getting additional gold at this point when you're almost 6 slotted won't matter all that much anyway. So just getting one pick off, forcing a buyback might be a little bit of a bigger deal. At the moment to MSI, they're nowhere near that even. Do they want to go for Roche? I saw a line being drawn. They're gonna find Extinct, I think. Yes, the long range Fiend's Grip. Should be an easy kill. Ignite, Fire Blast, no multicast, but well, suddenly Shinrei arrives, the right clicks will be plenty to bring him down. But, oh, the Promise Split, they find Ohio as well. There's the Exorcism KYXY, just gonna leave Ohio there to die. On the hill, you'll scepter it up as well. Don't think there's any escape from this. Just KYXY, he was like, yes, see ya, sayonara, I'm out of here.
This game is such a joke. Like, he's spent like 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes inside that Bat Rider looking for a pickoff. They finally find someone, and as soon as they initiate, Lifestealer just leaves. It's like, I guess he didn't want to be with the Bat Rider, but Bat Rider is like, no, trust me, this is going to work. And now they're forced to buy back in order to contest the Roshan, which they think is up. It's not up. They're going to get a lasso onto YND. Are they going to use the Echo Slam for this one? I think they should have enough damage even without it, although the Ogre's still alive. Flame Break from long range will kill him off. Ogre down. The rest of the team a little bit too far away to help. Ogre does have buyback, though, and Roshan's still not up. And it looks like Team Malaysia might reinitiate Mushi, looking for an Echo Slam. He does have a double. Although he's not going to use it just yet. There's the Echo Slam #1. Going to annihilate JYC. Shenrui into the Stone Gaze, though, is going to turn Ohio to stone and just go to town with the physical. That's going to be death of the Bat Rider in exchange. Force Staff back up from the Earthshaker. How did he get up there? Now Shenrui stunned up. He's not taking that much damage. Where's the second Echo Slam? It's not there just yet as the Chain Frost bouncing through was going to annihilate Shenrui. Is he going to escape? Yule Scepter is going to cancel his escape. And now KYXY, one more hit is going to do it. There's the kill on the Medusa. Has buyback, though. Mushi's still up to the high ground. He's going to land a second Echo. What? No Echo Slam targets there. X Lucky is still in the area. He's going to be dropped, and Jotan is there as well as Shenrui. KYXY going to hit with the Eye of Scott. He's going to have to back out as there's double buybacks. Jotan going to jump forward, but he might be jumping a little bit too aggressively. Mushi going to turn around for a stun, land down to Shenrui. He's still at full mana, full HP as well. KYXY trying to duel the Medusa. Not a good idea. Everyone has to leave. Mushi is going to be a casualty of war. He's going to go down as KYXY gets hit with the multicast. He's going to drop as well. No, please deny it. There you go. You can't fool him twice with that trick. KYXY. It's going to be a whole bunch of heroes down as they all buy back. They want to teleport in and try to resume this fight, but the Boots of Travels is going to get the Earthshaker back in, but he actually doesn't have anything. X awkwardly in enemy lines. He's going to be just fine, though he doesn't have a TP. Well, he might go down, but it's going to be very slow. They're going to contest Roshan with all these buybacks. X is still trying to find a way out of this, but here comes Mushi as well as KYXY. Killing off Shenrui is so difficult, though, especially when Mushi just walked into a Fiend's Grip and a split. Mushi's going to get demolished. Just no buyback for 2 minutes on that Earthshaker. He's going to be down. KYXY nowhere near being able to support him, and X just wants to leave. This is going to be Roshan going the way of MSI. And once again, what the hell is this game? This is so freaking weird.
Well, to be honest, it's a huge opening for MSI at the moment. Mushi tie backing like that. And of course, I have to point out that in the last fight, the Echo Slam, the secondary Echo Slam. Oh, the swap extinct! No way! Why do you swap yourself into the Roach Pit like that?
What the hell is going on?
That's just Team Malaysia. I guess they bet against themselves. I have no idea, but 3-2 is actually happening.
Yeah, 322 confirmed.
I wanted to say that the secondary Echo Slam, he actually blinked, I think it was onto Shenrui, on the Medusa, or onto somebody, or maybe it was the Death Prophet. In any case, he blinked Echo Slam just as Extinct actually swapped him out. So, good times ahead. At the very least now, Lifestealer has himself the Monkey King bar. So Medusa's life will be a little bit easier to be brought down, but of course, he has the Aegis, has the Boots of Travels as well. Actually doesn't have all that much money, I guess his buyback really took it all out of him, but with the Aegis now, I would really love to see just a Rapier now.
Yeah, I don't think they need to, but if it does come to that, it's certainly going to look like it's going to be one of those Rapier games. Shenrui on the front lines is going to be demolishing this tower along with the Death Prophet ultimate. And since Team Malaysia are down 2 of their heroes, most importantly their core Earthshaker, they probably can't make a defense. This is probably going to be them sacrificing the tower. Ohio doesn't even have a Lifestealer Bomb. You're really not going to Lifestealer Bomb now. I feel like this is probably the best time to do it. Rax is taking damage, and yeah, they can't mount a defense. They're going to sack the Raxes and wait for Mushi to respawn.
Well, I think MSI could have done this still a little bit better. I mean, they didn't have Bloodlust on Medusa for quite some time. Ogre Bloodlusting up. I think it was even Chotan from behind before. And Chotan, of course, didn't provide that Assault Cuirass aura really either. But in the end, didn't matter at all. MSI, they take the first set of racks. Top racks, though, are exposed for the dire side themselves as well. But look at the buybacks. They are on cooldown for 7 of the 10 heroes. That's what a game we've had so far. Net now purchases himself a new gem as well, or maybe not a new gem, but a gem in general. But the support, especially the Vengeful Spirit, really can't do all that much. I mean, power threads, earn, and that's about it.
I think the best bet for this Vengeful is try to save a target and then try to die to Medusa so that you could reduce her damage. Because Vengeful Spirit, aside from that, she's going to be able to throw out all her skills. Like, she's probably not going to get chain stuns, but she can't really contribute anything else. Maybe just trying to survive, try to afford a Ghost Scepter or something so that she could stick around for Vengeance Aura. But yeah, she's pretty much doing nil, and that's the same cannot be said about the Bane and Ogre Magi on the other end. Still, the Fiend's Grip is one of the biggest threats for Team Malaysia. The Enfeeble and is also going to be very relevant. And Ogre Magi, he's just dishing out damage left and right, and when it's not him casting the Fire Blast, it's him it's him bloodlusting the Medusa, and that's terrifying. That's freaking scary, man. So the supports from MSI, they're not falling off, whereas the supports for Team Malaysia have completely fallen off. Mushi, I know what you're thinking, bro, and don't do it. Okay, he's gonna back off, but they know he's there. He's going to be hidden successfully. I think it's time to travel out. Although the rest of the team is coming around, Ohio wants in on this one. Do you really want to do this? It's not a good idea, I promise you, Team Malaysia. Okay, they're gonna back off. No one's gonna die.
Wow, this was really intense, to be honest. I was kind of holding my breath, like, is it really gonna happen? But not to be, and it would have been a mistake, like I said as well. KYXY was nowhere nearby. Doesn't have boots of travels for himself either. And how many boots of travels do we actually have in this game? Not that many. Only 2 for each team. So actually kind of felt or thought that it might be more by this stage. I mean, we are 58 minutes into the game after all.
Yeah, it feels like everyone has travels, but it's only a couple heroes, which is kind of weird. So I'm sure KYXY is going to be going for his soon enough. I don't know what MSI are doing up on this top left corner of the map. They're all just like having a powwow, discussing strategy, huddling up. But now they're going to disperse. They don't actually need to get that much more farm on their heroes. Like Brewmaster is pretty much 6-slotted. He could replace his TP scroll with travels and then something else. Bane could use more. Ogre Magi could use an Aghanim Scepter, but aside from that, it's about maxed out for MSI, whereas for Team Malaysia, their heroes that are important are pretty much maxed out as well. Now, Lifestealer could get a little bit more, pretty much the same thing as Brewmaster, but, I mean, Shenrui, just look at the damage he's putting out. He's doing so much, and they're just going to barrel up the top lane. Now's the time for Mushi's Echo Slams to shine. Can he get anything done? He's going to travel back. Already the tower taking quite a bit of damage, and the creep wave is pretty spread out from the heroes. Echo Slam from Mushi, all eyes on him. There's initiation onto X-Lucky. Echo Slam is going to be used, doing pretty much no damage as Mushi now getting Core Staff away. But the Stone Gaze, going to turn everyone to stone, and Medusa's going to kill off everybody. That's 3 down instantly for Shenrui. And now the Raxes are in trouble. No buyback from the Lifestealer or anyone else. This is going to be, I think, game. They just lost their top Raxes with mid, and they can rotate down bottom as well. Yeah, it's GG. They can't do it.
Wow. Medusa just single-handedly pretty much won that fight. The split shot completely wrecking the 3 heroes apart. Lifestealer actually has buyback. Oh, they just came off cooldown. They might even be able to hold on. There's the chain first as well. Not gonna bounce to anybody though. Mushi, he blinks in, but suddenly slowed down, stunned up as well. Double multicast. There's the silence, and is it the dieback? He refreshes BKB. He stays alive somehow for the time being, but not for too long, I think. Ohoya in the air as well. Nice flame break, pushing the enemies back. But Earth Panda just on zoning duties at the moment, and I think they need not press the issue, just get the racks and back off.
Well, they're just going to do it. Shenrui's still at pretty much full health, full mana. Mushi has technically another Blink Echo, but they're going to try to Lifestealer Bomb into Shenrui. Not going to pan out for them as Ohio's going to get demolished. Nice 4-man Echo Slam. About time for Mushi, but instantly lucky. Eat the cheese, and now he's back at full. They're going to try to kill off Shenrui. They can't bring down this Medusa. Lifestealer going to town, but he just can't do it. No Stone Gaze. Doesn't even matter. KYXY is now going to try to give chase to Shenrui, but he's running into 5 MSI heroes, and he doesn't have any backup. Stun on KYXY, and the damage from Shenrui. You can't even get close enough to kill this Medusa. That's everyone down for Team Malaysia. That's GG. And these games have been clowny as hell. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Oh, I think swaps himself in as well. Didn't even die, but they have been clowning for sure. And to be honest, MSI overall, they played pretty damn nicely as well. Of course, mistakes were made by both sides, I feel like, although Team Malaysia, I'm not too sure if they're not taking this seriously, or like you mentioned previously, that they've been playing almost the entire day already as it is, but I just feel like they're not living up to the expectations of them.
Yeah, we said that they were going to be able to pretty much sweep these games, but they're dropping games left and right, and we're going to have to wait until the final games are actually played to determine what the group looks like, but it's definitely not looking as good for Malaysia as we thought before. Yeah,
and actually, if MSI win the next game as well, it will be Team Malaysia actually being eliminated, and it being, I think, Aces and MSI advancing then, if that's to be the case. So everything is still open, down to the last game really, guys. So don't go anywhere. We have the last game for the MPGL coming out in just a couple of minutes time. And of course, as always, if you liked what we did, be sure to follow us as well. All the necessary links you can find below the stream on Twitch. And just see you in the second game in a couple of minutes.